morning, friends. Welcome to Go Long, a show that focuses on local sports and faith, includes thought-provoking interviews with area coaches, players, and sports figures, unashamed Bible discussion, and the popular and it's entertaining, the WOYK scoreboard. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B.
Good morning.
Doggy, Becky B. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for being with us, because we've got a dandy with us this morning, Coach Joel Stoneberg. Goodness, the Susquehannock baseball head coach. The boys from the Rock are looking to repeat as York Adams Division II champions, and they're off to a good start already in division play. Also with us is Coach Neil Gutekunst, Dallastown track and field coach. You know those Wild Things looking to repeat as Division I champs. They're off to a great start already 3-0 in boys and girls track and field. How about that? Two great coaches, right, Becky B?
Absolutely, and you know that Neil Gutekunst has been with Dallastown for years and years. Yeah. He's like a legend in the track and field.
Absolutely. As Paul addressed believers in Rome and explained his mission in the book of Romans, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Today, our Go Long topic is our call to humility. Our call to humility. Throughout the weekend during today's show, please text your prayer request to 717-350-8591. Becky B will close today's show in prayer, as she does every Sunday morning. All right, you know it's red hot, Ed hot. Goodness, it's downtown Ollie Brown. Grab the mustard, because this is the Grand Salami of faith-based sports radio shows, brought to you by Sports Radio 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK. First in York and first in sports. And also brought to you by our friend Kelsey Jean at Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. All right, then. You wanted it. You asked for it. Guess what? You're going to get it. This is the WOYK scoreboard. All right, let's kick this off with high school baseball. The Go Long York Adams League Baseball Game of the Week on Thursday afternoon. The Dogtown Boys of West York hit the road, Jack, to take on the Suburbanites of York Suburban in an important Division II matchup. You see, there are 3 teams sitting on top of the division, just with one is the loneliest number loss in their backpacks.
Book this win for the West York Bulldogs as they pound the York Suburban Trojans by a score of 13-6. For West York, do-it-all senior MJ Votero carried the big stick as Votero ripped a pair of knocks, drove in 4 runs, and crossed the plate 2 times to lead the Dogtown Boys.
Votero stepped off the bus and then launched an Earl Weaver's favorite 3-run ding-dong, the witch is dead dinger in the top of the first. How about that? Just to get off the bus and rip one. How about that, old Votero? Still for the Dogs, Logan Claycom with a pair of knocks and 2 ribbies, and Will Plapert lacing a 2-bagger, drew a pair of free passes, and Plapert also scored 3 runs. Seamus George with a pair of base hits for the Suburbanites.
In other York Adams baseball games this week, the Kennerdale Rams 10-run ruled the Susquehannock Warriors as the Fawn Grove boys win over the boys from the Rock 10-0. Kennerdale's Ryan Perzowski tossed a 5-inning no-no, whiffing 9 along the way.
Alrighty, our Go Long Baseball Player of the Week is Ryan Perzanowski from Fawn Grove, one of the Kennerdale boys. Check out Perzanowski. First of all, you remember him from basketball also. I mean,
oh, yes. He's just a good athlete.
Well, he's a great athlete. He's they say he's 6'2". I looked at his profile this morning, listed at 6'2", but he plays like he's 6'4", 6'5" in basketball. Broad-shouldered, strong young man.
Very athletic.
All righty,
yes.
Well, in baseball, so far this season, he's just hitting .346. That's it, .346. 9 for 36 at the plate, 10 ribbies, scored 10 runs, has drawn 7 base on balls, 1 triple, 1 dinger, 3 stolen bases. All right.
He does it all.
That's just what he does at the bat. Now, in 4 games pitching, he's only given up 6 hits in 4 outings. How about that? 6 earned runs, 34 strikeouts. He's 3-0. His giving up 1.5 earned runs per game. Our Go Long Baseball Player of the Week, Ryan Perzanowski from the Fawn Grove Boys. How about that?
Yeah, and he reminds me of a 2-year-old when we tell him, no, except he does it with no hits, no runs, right?
Yep. Alrighty, you got me on that one. The Golden Boys of Eastern New York picked up a win over the Dover Eagles, 8-2. With Quinn the Eskimo, Bramble was especially thorny, allowing just 4 hits while booking 10 Ks.
On Wednesday, on the 90-foot diamond, on the hill with the pill for the Bermudian Springs Eagles was Branson Diller. Diller and the Eagles matching up with the Smallstown Boys of Littlestown. This game is noteworthy as junior Branson Miller tossed a 7-inning no-no as Bermudian wins 9-0 over Littlestown, allowing just 1 base runner on a field error. Diller whipping 8 along the way to his no-hitter. And by the way, Branson Miller also went 4 for 4 at the dish. Not a bad day at the office for that junior.
A no-no and 4 for 4? Alrighty, Branson Diller, do it, young man. Other hardball games from Wednesday, Central York surprised Redline 4-1. As Weston Wagaman drove in 3 runs on a pair of base knocks, and Wyatt Mailer twirled 5 innings for the W.
The Northeastern Bobcats over the Spring Grove Rockets, 10-2 for the Northeasterns. In the first stands of play in Papertown, Zach Ball nailed a bases-jacked grand salami, and Ball went yard.
All right, if you're going to be a baseball player, you might as well have a last name of Ball, right?
Yeah, that works out well.
Right, Zach Ball, grand salami. I love it. And in the Antonelli, grab him by the ear, drag him out behind the woodshed. Oh, doggy, I hate to say it. Good old-fashioned whooping game of the week. The Downstown Wild Things spanked the York High Bearcats 10-0. Sam Forey and Chase Meyer combined for a 5-inning one-hitter, racking up 12. Count them, whiffing 12 along the way.
York Adams baseball from Wednesday. Fairfield over York Tech, 3-1. Jaden Bell tossing a complete game to book the W for the Green Knights. DeLone Catholic over York Catholic, 7-1. Jack Wilson twirling the complete game win for those McSherrystown boys. And the boys from the Apple capital of the world run the Snacktown boys through the Foley Food Mill as Biglerville wins over Hanover, 15-3. Jared Hollaball ripping a pair of 2-baggers and 3 sweet ribbies for those Canners.
That's a golden delicious win for the Canners. Alrighty, here's the York Adams standings on Division 1. Dallastown, Central York, Northeastern, Redline, all with just 1 loss. Dallastown, Central York 4-1, Northeastern 3-1, Redline 2-1 in division play. Then in Division 2, 1 loss, New Oxford, the Circletown Boys, the Dogtown Boys of West York with 1 loss, and the Rams, the Kennerdale Rams, are with 1 loss. So New Oxford 5-1, West York 5-1, Kennerdale 4-1 in division play on top of Division 2. Now, you know, this baseball has been realigned. There was 4 divisions last year. They realigned to 3 divisions. I like it, actually, this year. Then in Division 3, sitting on top, all alone, the Bermudian Springs Eagles. They are unbeaten in division play. They are 6-0. DeLone and Littlestown, each with 2 losses. All right, now, here is a look at the top 3 in District 3 play in each bracket. Single A, Mount Calvary Christian, 5-2. The Christian School of York, here comes Rusty, the Greyhounds, are 5-2. And West York Christian Academy, 5-2. That's single A. Then the double A, Halifax is 6-1. Newport, the Buffaloes are 5-2. Camp Hill, the Little Lions, are 2-3. That's double A. In triple A, the Kutztown is 6-1. Becky B. Out of that Berks League, Bermudian Springs, the Eagles, sitting second in the power rankings with an 8-1 record. Then Trinity, the Shamrocks, are 6-1. That's 3A. Now in 4A, East Pennsboro, the unbeaten team, or the only unbeaten team in 4A. They are 9-0. Northern Lebanon, the Vikings, are 9-1. And then Becky B's Fleetwood Tigers are 7-2 out of the Berks League in 4A. 5A, Palmyra 10-0. Exeter Township 9-2. Lampeter Stroudsburg 9-2. And then in 6A, the Big Boy Pants baseball bracket, Governor Mifflin, the Mustangs are 11-0, followed by the Hempfield Black Knights out of the LL League at 9-0. And then Cumberland Valley 6-1. That's a look at District 3 baseball play.
And let's move on to the 60-foot diamond. In the Go Long York Adams League softball game of the week, the Southwestern Mustangs stay unbeaten with a 7-3 win over the Greencastle Atrium on Thursday at the Corral. And guess who was in the circle for the Stangs?
No doubt in my mind.
No other than All-Star Jada Kuntz. Kuntz twirling a complete game gem, All 3 runs that crossed the plate for Greencastle Atrim were unearned. Jada Coons also perfect at the plate, ripping 3 hits on 3 trips to the dish. Coons driving in 1 and scoring a pair of runs for her day at the office.
And Jada Coons is our Go Long Softball Player of the Week. You know, so far this season, check this out. In batting, she is 16 of 23. 16
Not
hits
bad.
and 23 trips to the plate. Just in case you don't want to do the math in your head, that is hitting that clip at 696.
Wow.
Jada Coons. She's got 11 sweet ribbies, 3 2-baggers, and 2 dingers, does Jada Coons. Also pitching, this lady can flat out do it all. She is 6-0. In 39.2 innings, she has whiffed 49 batters. She's given up 9 earned runs in 6 games, 29 hits. That's 1.5 earned runs per outing for Jada Coons. How about that? And, 7.5 strikeouts per game. Incredible, but what the stat that just jumps out at me is hitting 696.
Well, not only that, though. She is a delightful young lady, and she's got a brain on top of that. She is an outstanding student over at Southwestern.
The Go Long Softball Player of the Week. Now, I just got to reflect on that a second, because I actually coached, I was an interim softball coach, as you know, just for a little bit of time at Monmouth, and so many times in that short 60-foot diamond, hard balls are caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're hitting 16 for 23, it's almost got to believe that you're ripping the ball almost every daggone time you're up at the plate.
Yep. She hits, and
right,
she's a line drive hitter. She really is.
All right, Jada Coons, Go Long Softball Player of the Week. Go Jada. The Fawn Grove girls over the girls from the Rock as the Kennedale Rams doubled up the Susquehannock Warriors 4-2 in girls softball action. Sophomore sensation Taryn Ashenfelder with the W for the Rams. Ashenfelder tossing a complete game, giving up just 4 base hits and fanning 11 Warriors along the way.
And the Dogtown girls of West York put on their hitting caps and hanged out 20 runs to win over the York Suburban Trojans 20-3 in a 5-inning game. Addison Schminsky led the hit parade with 4 knocks and 5 sweet ribbies.
The Golden Girls of Eastern York win over Dover in Wrightsville by a score of 4-2. Abby DiBardino lasting 5 in the circle, allowing just 2 earned runs to book the W for Eastern.
And on Wednesday, the Central York Panthers knocked off the Red Lion Lions 8-3 in Cigar Town. Brooklyn Schaefer with a pair of hits, including a moonshot in the first for the Panthers. Elizabeth Farrell booked the W for Central.
That might have been a full moon for Brooklyn Schaefer. The New Oxford Colonials circled the wagons and spanked the Northeastern Bobcats 7-2 in just 3 innings in Division I play, and the Downtown Wildcats dominated in a 23-0 3-inning game over the York High at Smalls Athletic Field in York. Lexi Sebald ripping a bases-juiced grand salami for the Wild Things.
It was Littlestown over Bermudian 11-3 in Smallsville. Alexis Stonespicer swirling a complete game, allowing just 1 earned run for the Bolts. And Isabella Alvera and Ashlyn Gorst each blasted 2-run taters for Littlestown.
Alrighty, DeLone over York Catholic 16-8. Emily Goodwin and London Neves each with 3 rips at the plate for the McSherrystown girls. Fairfield doubled up York Tech 10-5 as Maddie Payne fanned 17 for the W.
And the girls from the apple capital of the world sauced the Snacktown girls as the Biglerville Canners run the Hanover Nighthawks through the Foley Food Mill 21-2 in just 3 stanzas of plates. The stat of the game for this, Biglerville drawing 17 free passes.
Wow.
Ooh.
That Foley Food Mill was busy in Biglerville this week, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Look at the York Adams girls softball standing, sitting on top of Division I. The Stangs playing in the corral. The Southwestern Mustangs are the only unbeaten Division I team. 5-0. They're 8-0 overall. New Oxford with 1 loss. Dallastown with 2 losses. Central York with 2 losses in Division I play. Then in the Division II, how about those Fawn Grove girls? The Kennedale Rams are the only unbeaten team in Division II. They're a full 2 games up on Susquehannock, who is 5-2, 2.5 up on Eastern York, who is 4-2. And then in Division III, the girls from the apple capital of the world, they're carrying the big bats, they're carrying a good glove, and they also got that Foley Food Mill stuck in their backpack as the Biglerville Canners are 6-0, the only unbeaten team in Division 3. The Smallsville girls of Littlestown just one game back with a 5-1 record. The Bermudian Springs a game and a half back with a 5-2 record. So here's a look at PIAA District 3 now. I've been saying this for a while, and I'm not gonna make a big point out of it, but otherwise I'm gonna make a big point out of it. I think
you're not gonna make a big point, but otherwise you are, huh?
I've been saying that District 3 somehow PIAA has to realign these districts somehow, someone, some way. And I'm not looking into the crystal ball and telling them when to do it, how to do it. I'm just saying it should be done, and here's why. There are 3A teams in girls softball and single A. Okay, 3 teams.
3. Okay.
York Catholic sitting on top. Now I'm happy York Catholic is sitting on top, but they're 1 win, 5 losses, and Greenwood 0-4, Lancaster Mennonite 0-5. One of those teams is going to be a district champion. So what's that really mean? Know what I mean?
Well, that means that they'll have at least 1 win if they're the district champion.
Well, no, I don't know. And then you look, in 5A there's 27 teams, and in 6A there's 28 teams. It's just a balance there that needs to be looked at. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yep. It's a little tougher to be a district winner in 5A and 6A.
Alrighty, so in single A, York Catholic is the leader of the pack with a 1-5 record. Double A, Brandywine Heights 3-3, Fairfield 4-4. And then in 3A, Susquehanna is 6-0, Kutztown 8-2, Trinity 6-1. In 4A, the top 3, Eastern Lebanon County unbeaten 11-0, Northern Lebanon 7-1, and the Kennedale Rams third in power rankings with a 10-0 record. Then in 5A, Solanco Mules out of the LL League are 9-0, Greencastle Antrim 7-1, and Northern York, the Polar Bears, are 6-1. Then in 6A, Central Dolphin, the Rams out of the Mid-Penn League are 6-0. Cumberland Valley out of the Mid-Penn League 4-0. Followed by the Southwestern Mustangs in third in the power rankings in the Big Girl Pants bracket with an 8-0 record. I don't know. What do you think about that realignment? Somehow, right?
Well, yeah, but you don't want to be driving 3 hours to a game either.
Well, I know, but yeah. But it's not. It's just something's out of whack there.
Something is out of whack. Okay, in the girls lacrosse game of the week, let's go to the river. And that river overlooked in Wrightsville, where the Golden Girls of Eastern York hosted the Lions from Red Lion. For the Lions, Haley Hayes scorched the nets with 9 goals and 2 assists. Congratulations to her fellow Lion, Kaylin Eccles, who reached the 200 career points pinnacle, scoring 2 goals and 5 assists. For the Golden Knights, Victoria Buck scored 5 goals, and the Lions are now 5-2, and the Golden Knights fall to 1-7. York Catholic was over Central York 17-7, and Amelia Berkey scored 5 goals for York Catholic with 3 assists. Delaney Staples also had 5 goals and 2 assists, and Alexis Smith had 3 goals and 2 assists. Gray Fessick had 4 goals for Central York. Kennerdale beats York Suburban in a close one, 15-13. Dallastown over 10, 14-4 over Spring Grove. Susquehannock 16, Dover 4, and Southwestern triples up West York 21-7 in girls lacrosse.
Well done, Becky B. Our Go Long Girls Lacrosse Athlete of the Week. York Suburban's Cambria Rice, the junior, 10 games this season. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
58 goals. 58 goals in 10 games. She also handed out 7 dimes. This week she had 6 goals for Central York on Tuesday, 9 goals against West Shore Christian on Wednesday, and then found the back of the net 5 times against Kennerdale on Thursday. Not a bad week. 20 goals.
20 goals a
20
week?
goals. Our girls lacrosse athlete of the week, York Suburban's junior, Cambria Rice. All right, quick look at girls lacrosse in the York Adams League. Both Dallastown and Susquehannock are 6-0. They're on top of the league, tied up on top. And New Oxford 5-1, they're a game back. Red Line game and a half back with a 5-2 record. Kennedale and Southwestern both 2 games back with identical 4-2 records.
In the Go Long Boys Lacrosse Game of the Week in Cigar Town, the historic Hornfield, the Red Lion Lions hosted the Golden Boys of Eastern York. At the half, things looked pretty bleak for the Golden Boys as they trailed 11-5. At the end of 3 quarters, they were still behind by 4 goals, 14-10. But in the 4th quarter, those Knights put some giddy-up in their play, and they tied up the game to force overtime play. In overtime, Eastern Sailor tallied his 7th goal of the night to tame those Lions. Ben Lippy and Brennan Lehman both had 3 goals. Also for the Golden Knights, Matthew Zerbe had 3 assists, and Lehman and Saylor each contributed an assist for that victory. The Knights are now 3-7, and the Lions fall to 3-4 for the year.
Alrighty, this is the WYK scoreboard. Boys across York Adams League, Central York and Southwestern, both unbeaten, sitting on top of division play. Central York, the Panthers are 7-0. The Stangs of Southwestern are 6-0. Dallastown, New Oxford, each with 1 loss. They are a game and a half back because they are sitting on 5-1 records. Alrighty, Becky B, can you give us a look at boys volleyball?
Absolutely. The high school boys volleyball match of the week. At Suburban, the Trojans faced their crosstown rivals, the Dallastown Wildcats. Suburban undefeated at the league for the year at 5-0, hosting the also 5-0 Wildcats. Who's going to be remaining undefeated? Well, that would be the host Trojans. They came out on top in convincing fashion, defeating the Wildcats in 3 games, 25-20, 25-16, and 25-13. Leading the Trojans with 13 kills was Trent Weinstein. To it, Miller added 6 kills and 6 digs, and Drew Wilt contributed 6 digs and 17 assists. The Trojans are now 6-0 in the league and 8-0 overall, and the Wildcats fell to 5-1 in league play and 7-2 overall. Now, this sets up a battle of the unbeatens on April 22nd when the Trojans head north to meet the Central York Panthers. In other boys volleyball, Northeastern 3, Red Lion 0. Central York actually dropped a game to West York, but they still won the match 3-1. Spring Grove 3, Dover 0. Eastern York 3, York High 0. New Oxford 3, York Catholic 0.
All right, here's a look at the standings in York Adams boys volleyball play. As Becky B mentioned, the Suburbanites, the York Suburban Trojans, 6-0, and the Panthers of Central York are 6-0 as well. They are all knotted up at the top of boys volleyball in the York Adams League, just with 1 loss. The Wild Things, the Dallastown Wildcats, are 5-0, and the Nor'easters, the Northeastern Bobcats, are also 5-1. So Dallastown and Northeastern, 1 game back of the 2 leaders, Suburban and Central. 2 games back of the Red Line Lions. The Cigar Town boys are 4-2 so far for their season. Alrighty, how about high school boys tennis, Becky B?
Oh, yes, Dallastown goes on to face York Suburban and sweeps. Dallastown 5, York Suburban 0. Winning for Dallastown, Hayden Coons at number 1, Jacob Horn at number 2, Nariah Joshi at number 3. And then in the doubles, Dallastown also took both doubles with Nathaniel Erickson and Sebastian Ruiz teaming up in doubles 1, and Ryan Lopiccolo and Ian Oppitz in doubles number 2.
All right, so far overall records, Dallastown 13-2, I should say. They are 6-0 in division play. York Suburban, with that loss, drops to 8-6 overall, 3-2 in division play. Our Go Long high school tennis, boys tennis player of the week. Hey, no surprise here. How about Hayden Coons, the senior from Dallastown? He's 3-0 in York Adams play. Wednesday at Central York, he wins 6-0, 6-0. And then on Thursday against York Suburban, he wins 6-2, 6-1, as Becky B mentioned. So again, a quick look at the York Adams boys tennis. Division 1, it is Dallastown on top of the division, unbeaten, 6-0. They're 13-2 overall. The Stangs, the Southwestern Mustangs, are 5-1 in division play, 12-1 overall. Central York 3-1 in division play, 5-4 overall. How about that? In Division 2, the Dogtown boys are 4-0 in division play, 9-3 overall. From Union Springs and Delone, each 4-1, just a half a game back of West York. This is softball. Now, boys tennis. In boys tennis double A, here's Wyomissing's at top at 8-0. East Pennsboro 9-0. Conrad Weiser, they're the Scouts, right?
They are.
At 12-0. Kutztown are the
Cougars.
The Cougars at 7-0. Pequay Valley 10-1 are the Indians. That's the top 5 in double A boys tennis. The top 5 in triple A. How about those Wild Things? The Dallastown Wildcats lead the power rankings in 3A as Dallastown 12-2 overall. The Hempfield Black Knights out of the LL League are 12-0. Central Dolphin, the Rams out of the Mid-Penn League, are 10-1. And then Lancaster Country Day is 9-1 fourth. The Wilson Bulldogs out of Berks County, 7-1. That's the top 5 in 3A.
You know, kind of surprises me that Lancaster Country Day is a 3A school. I didn't realize they were that large a school.
Absolutely. Hey, we got college baseball, college softball, and we got a lot of local college athletes to talk to you about as well coming up. But, as you might guess, It's time to go long. Today, our go long topic is our call to humility. So, Becky B, we took a few minutes last night to watch a movie, and that's what made me really think about this topic. The name of the movie escapes me right now, but
The Passion.
The Passion, right?
Mm-hmm. Mel Gibson was the director of it, and came out maybe 10 years ago now, maybe longer than that.
All right, very powerful movie,
yeah.
right? But anyway, very powerful, and it made me think about our example of being humble of Jesus Christ, our Lord. As he was just absolutely tortured in the final minutes and maybe even days of his leading up to his death.
Final days of his life.
Yes, final days of his life. He's just tortured, but his humble, where you talk about being humble, where you give your life for other people's sins, right? And it just made me think a little bit and reflect as I say my nightly prayers and reflect on the day a little bit. But so much in today in our sports, that's the last thing we are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more and more you see what I would call people almost taunting during games, right? And it's
a lot
not
of
even,
trash talk.
It is a lot of trash talk, and it's not even. It's almost accepted today, and very little humility, I think, left in sports. Now there's still a lot of people, a lot of athletes who are very humble, and I think so. I don't want to cast that broad net. But,
well, it almost seems like we're going to opposite ends, because I think we have, some athletes who are just over the top as far as being, I don't know, braggarts. Is that what you want to say? And and yes, superb athletes, physically, unbelievably talented, but and then on the other end, something that I have noticed in this past year, especially like on the national scheme, there have been a lot of the college football players. I think of the Notre Dame quarterback and some others who have just been giving glory to God as soon as they, I'm so thankful to my God and Savior for blessing us with this.
No, you're right. That's why I said I don't want to cast that broad net, but I think it's something and even in our lives, I think so often we're driven for recognition, right? Mm-hmm. And we're driven in a society that wants to give awards and that encompasses our life. It's the will to succeed, which is a good will, right? Mm-hmm. The will to do well, which we should do in everything we do. We're given gifts from God that we want to use in our life for good with those gifts. But so often, I think, again, we're driven by the fact to be recognized in that. And so at any rate, I want to read from the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 through 11 and reflect upon it a little bit. So today our go long topic is our call. When I say our, I mean you and I together. Our call for humility, to humility. So from the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 5, in your relationships with one another. And this is so important to me. This isn't talking about being recognized for being successful on the athletic field or on the court. This is talking about in our relationships, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's the differentiating point here. In our relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. How about that? You could stop right there, and we could spend 2 hours just talking about that. In our relationships with our spouses, with our loved ones, with our children, with the people we coach, with our teammates, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. How about that? What do you say about that, Becky B?
Well, you look at Jesus, and all he did was lift people up. He really, when you look at, the woman who was caught outside of her marriage, and, he protected her. Let anybody who has never sinned throw the first stone, and there was nobody that could. And he just told her, go on and do God's will, kind of thing. And the way he walked with lepers, he ate with tax collectors who were just hated at that time. He was always with the people in society that everyone who was looked down upon in society, and he lifted them up.
Yeah, I wish we had hours to talk about this, my friends. So write down Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 through 11. I want you to read it and study it at home, please. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. How about that? And, did not use that equality with God, that being one God, to his advantage, right? In fact, he used it for our advantage, right? He used it. He died on that cross for us. Is that being humility? Is that our call for humility right there?
Absolutely.
Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in heaven in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on the cross. Therefore God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee shall bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father.
Well, when you look at it, he was born in, a stable. He was born to a young mother and in a foreign country in the poorest of conditions. Yeah. He lived a very meek life growing up, as a carpenter's son, and never ever, even though he was God's son, as he was walking on earth, he was so humble and just dressed in clothing that would not look like the king, dressed in, walked everywhere he went, just gave always, just unbelievably.
Today our Go Long topic, our call to humility, Philippians chapter 2, verse 5. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. Alrighty, my friends, you're listening to WOYK's Go Long. We're going to take a break, hear from our sponsor, Red Barn Home Decor, is where home staging makes dollars and cents. When we come back, we're going to go to the Rock to talk to Susquehanna baseball coach Joe Stoneberg right after this.
Darryl Henry here. Attention all home sellers. Are you ready to win in the real estate game? At Red Barn Home Decors, we know that staging your home is like crafting the perfect game plan. It leads to quicker sales and higher offers.
And this is Kelsey McCullough, your home staging design professional. I'm ready to customize a winning strategy for your home. Whether it's a vacant property needing a full transformation or an occupied stage for that finishing touch, Red Barn Home Decors has the playbook for success. Staged homes sell faster and for more money. Now that's a winning strategy.
So Kelsey, what is your home staging strategy?
Every home is custom. We begin by coming to your home and meeting you. Then we customize a strategy to make it market ready. We head back to the warehouse and pull furniture, art, and decor to prepare for staging day.
So don't fumble your sale. Invest in home staging and see why staging makes dollars and cents. Check out our portfolio at redbarnhomedecors.com or call or text Kelsey at 717-818-1207.
It's almost time. The York Revolution roster is being built for the upcoming season. And right here is where you get the news first.
Revs Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy, with Darryl Henry and Revs manager Rick Forney.
The latest player signings, plus interviews live on the show each week.
Do people listen to this? There are a lot of people that listen to this. How do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. I don't know.
Revs Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy.
Monday at 6 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
Love baseball? Love perks? Then it's time to hit a home run with the York Revolution Silver Sluggers, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. For fans 55 and better, this exclusive membership gives you big savings on Tuesday home games all season long. 10 Tuesday home game tickets, discounts on concessions, and exclusive Silver Sluggers seat cushions, all for just $67.50. Don't miss out. Secure your Silver Sluggers membership today, and we'll see you at the ballpark. Sign up for the season at YorkRevolution.com.
And welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. With us on the phone right now from the Rock, the head coach of the Susquehanna Warriors baseball team, Coach Joel Stoneberg. Coach, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, happy to be here.
Coach, first of all, defending Division II champions. Tell us about the start of your season. Tell us about some of your big guys.
Yeah, so we come into this season, we have 11 seniors on our roster, so we are an older group. Season has went okay so far. Like we're happy being at 5-3 right now. We are battling the injury bug. We're finally starting to come out of it a little bit. So we've been spending a lot of this season kind of playing a couple guys out of position. We've done it without, some of our key arms, but they're starting to come back to us. We have two of our main pitchers that'll be returning over the next 2 weeks. Monday, Drew Hargis is going to get the start on the mound for the first time in 2 years. We're excited to have him back. 2 weeks from now, Lucas Coleman comes back. We kind of had him penciled in as our number 2 or 3 on the year. So the arms are coming back, which is really going to push us. But this group's been great. We have Grayson Copenhaver, who's a senior captain. He's batting .450. Jaden Sipes batting over .400 as a senior. And then Braden Krebs, Nick Bender, Andrew Unglesby, all seniors as well. They're pushing that .400 mark. So there's some guys having some great years.
Now, Coach, you have a lot of experience with a heavy senior-laden club. How has that been helping you despite all of these injuries?
Well, just experience. I mean, these kids have been around. They're battling, they're battling the adversity, and they know it's there. We're kind of playing throughout the season so far. We've played almost a shell game with our positions. One day you're our shortstop, but the next day the shortstop's on the mound. So now your third baseman's a shortstop and your first baseman's over at third. Just all these things as we, get these arms back so that we can kind of finalize a lineup and give them some consistency from day to day.
Well, not even that. The weather has been so inconsistent, too. You have beautiful spring-like weather at the very beginning of the season, and now you're going through a frigid spell.
Yeah, I mean, this week was tough. We Monday and Tuesday we were rained out, so you're in a building and you can only do so much in a high school gym. And then Wednesday and Thursday we had 2 tough division opponents. Thursday's game was moved to last minute. It was supposed to be Friday, but due to rain, so we were just kind of all out of sorts this week. But everyone's dealing with it. But it sure would be nice if it would just be, 75 degrees and sunny.
Oh, yes.
Coach, the realignment of the divisions, I want your thoughts on that. Now New Oxford, West York, Kennerdale, and Susquehanna, we're counting, the 4 of you are as good as anybody. It doesn't matter what division it is in all of York Adams League. Has it changed the complexion of the league a lot?
I mean, I like it. I like it really for the point of the county tournament at the end of the year. If you have, in previous years, if you had 2 great teams in a division, only one got to go represent you at counties. We've been lucky that's been us, but there's deserving teams. Division 2 is tough. I mean, Division 2, if you're looking at the scoreboard right now, they're winning the games played against Division 1. I think it brings some accolades to the talent that's there, and we like the competition. No one wants to go out and play the game where you're just mercy rolling someone. We love a good solid 7-inning ball game. So we have great teams in that group, great coaches, and it's making for a fun year.
I got to get your thoughts on what I believe Division II having some of the best pitchers in central Pennsylvania. You saw Perzanowski from Kennerdale, Valtero from West York. You've got a couple on your mound. The pitching is incredible, right?
It's amazing. We saw Valtero from West York, and I'll be honest, I read the newspaper. I knew he had won Player of the Year or what have you last year for Division III. But we're not a team that has people that go out and scout. So if I can't see it on Game Changer, then I don't know much about you. But he threw a great game. Perzanowski the other day threw a great game. And then we have Andrew Unglesby, who won Pitcher of the Year last year. He's sitting at 3-1 with a 1.5 ERA right now, and we schedule our week around Andrew. We give him, whoever we think is the best hitting opponent. So everyone he sees is, the best. His numbers are real. He doesn't get any easy games, and I love that he loves that. Like he asks for the biggest game every week. So it's great.
Well, I think you just named, I think we're talking about three of the best pitchers that I consider in Central Pennsylvania. Valtero from West York. Tell me if I'm wrong, more of a curveball pitcher. Perzanowski from Kennerdale just wants to just power by you. And then you got Oglesby that on the hill for you that is committed already to Penn State Berks to pitch. He probably mixes it as well as anybody, but tell me what you see.
Yeah, well, so, I could be wrong on the Valtero thing, but we thought his slider was fantastic. Because he throws, I'm sure someone knows better, but that sure seemed like high 80s fastball, and the slider looked the exact same until the last second when it was diving away from you. Perzanowski, low 90s kid. Yep. That's real velocity coming at you. But Unglesby, just knowing him much better, he can throw any pitch in any count. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. They all go in different directions. He's tough to hit against because he hits his spots.
Well, the thing I coached him in basketball, as you know, but the thing I loved about him, if you want to play poker with somebody on your team, he's the guy. Nothing. You can look at him, you don't see anything on that face, right?
Nothing at all.
I hope they're not playing poker when they have rain delays or something in the Susquehanna. Oh yeah. Okay, now, Coach, as you go into, it's pretty easy, pretty soon to talk about postseason at this point. But as you go into postseason, what are you looking for? Do you feel like you have enough good, strong arms now with these two guys coming back that you can put enough pitchers on the hill for a good postseason run?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of alluded to it earlier. As a coaching staff, 5-3. We're not mad at it, but we always down here our program. We've been striving to be the best, but we know we've been limping into each game. We get the arms back. That's going to allow us to actually game plan and not just kind of like hope we survive each game. The Kennerdale game on Thursday, we ran out of arms in the fourth inning. You just keep battling, and you just start getting some more, arms back, some people back. We can start playing our actual positions. Someone we haven't mentioned, I have a sophomore catcher in Henry Howman. Mm-hmm. He's been an outfielder his entire life. Manny Cartagena graduated. That was our all-state catcher last year. Who had like 9 home runs. And Jaden Sipe is a senior catcher. He was battling some arm stuff early. He's coming back, so he'll be catching some more for us. But Henry transitioned from outfield to catcher and has done a great job. The kid had a 1.7 pop time, and
wow.
He's got a laser wing, but he's been learning how to catch, and he's been doing it very well, and just managing the staff. But that's just how our season's been. It's just kind of been you play a little bit of everywhere, and everyone's just keeping their head up. But when we can get to full strength, I think we're poised to make the run. Postseason, whether it be counties, districts, and so on.
Coach Joel Stoneberg, Susquehannock Warriors. Joel, before I let you go, I got to ask you, Coach, you're one of the rare people, maybe the only one I know that's coaching 2 big varsity sports, wrestling, baseball. How do you do it? How do you handle that? Tell me a little bit about that. Well,
for one, I love it. I love coaching. I love working with specifically, high school teen kids. They keep me young. But I have a great support system. My family's terrific. They understand Dad's coaching. And then whenever I'm off the field, I try to give all my time to them. But it also helps. I'm a self-employed. I own a gym, so that allows me to kind of coordinate my schedule a little better around it. But I love it. I love coaching wrestling. I love coaching baseball. They're two totally different sports and mentalities, and it's great. Like, I get to do this for a living, and it's great.
Today on Go Long, we celebrate Coach Joe Stoneberg and the boys from the Rock. Coach Stoneberg is absolutely an incredible. I call you a young man. You're much younger than me.
That's for sure.
A great coach. You handle young people in a way that's incredible. I watch you. You're respectful. They play hard for you. That respect is both ways, but they also take on your competitive nature. But you're what's right about high school sports. You do it in the right way, Coach, and I value that. I appreciate that, and we celebrate you today on Go Long, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much.
Alrighty, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Neil Gutekunst, Dallastown Track and Field. How about that, Coach Stoneberg? Another great coach, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Alrighty, we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsor, Red Barn Home Decors. Thanks for being with us. We'll be right back.
Daryl Henry here. Attention all home sellers. Are you ready to win in the real estate game? At Red Barn Home Decors, we know that staging your home is like crafting the perfect game plan. It leads to quicker sales and higher offers.
And this is Kelsey McCullough, your home staging design professional. I'm ready to customize a winning strategy for your home. Whether it's a vacant property needing a full transformation or an occupied stage for that finishing touch, Red Barn Home Decors has the playbook for success. Staged homes sell faster and for more money. Now that's a winning strategy.
So Kelsey, what is your home staging strategy?
Every home is custom. We begin by coming to your home and meeting you. Then we customize a strategy to make it market ready. We head back to the warehouse and pull furniture, art, and decor to prepare for staging day.
So don't fumble your sale. Invest in home staging and see why staging makes dollars and cents. Check out our portfolio at redbarnhomedecors.com or call or text Kelsey at 717-818-1207.
It's deep! It is gone!
Hit your own homer and welcome a York Revolution player into your home this summer. The Revs are looking for player host families. Get an inside look at the life of a pro ball player, plus loads of benefits, including admission to all home games, a $250 concessions gift card, and much more. Host families are critical to putting a championship team on the field. Help us bring another championship to York by hosting a Revs player this season. Email Josh Santora at jsantora@yorkrevolution.com and join our team today. The Atlantic League champion York Revolution are gearing up for another run at the title, and we want you to be part of the action. Lock up your seats with our popular and flexible 10-game plan. It comes with all kinds of season membership perks. Huge savings compared to single-game price, early admission, discount parking, exchange flexibility, and oh yeah, the best baseball around. Get your 10-game plan today at 717-801-HITS or visit YorkRevolution.com.
And welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. One of the wild things in Dallastown, Wildcats track and field coach, Coach Neil Gutekunst. Coach, the Wild Things, Division I repeat, is it going to happen? Tell us about your team.
We've got some big news. 2 repeat. We fortunately opened the season with Southwestern, who is outstanding, and we were able to beat them on both the boys and the girls side. So that put us in good position. We just won a dual meet against Central, but we've got some excellent teams coming up. Red Lion especially is very tough, so that's going to be the main one, I think. But yeah, every meet's important.
Well, absolutely. Now, Coach, this is not your first rodeo. You know, you have been coaching great athletes at a great program for many years. When you look at your overall program this year. Are you still looking at the strength of program that Dallastown usually has?
We are, and we're very fortunate for that. We have a good junior high program that develops athletes very well. We have just great coaches all around in the district that encourage their athletes to give track and field a try. Every year at the high school level, we have some new athletes that haven't done, given track and field a try yet, and they say, it could be 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. Say, hey, let's give it a try. And they usually get some encouragement from their other coaches, because they know that we help make them better athletes. So even though track is not their number one sport for some of those athletes, we make them better at what they do as their number one sport. So, we get a lot of good athletes from that, and that helps us keep the program where it is.
Coach, just break it down. To be, a champion track and field team, you got to have sprinters, you got to have long distance runners, you got to have throwers, you got to have jumpers. Let's break it down a little bit. Boys and girls, tell us a little bit about your top sprinters.
On the boys' side, we have. I think you're going to hear the name Gabriel Annan a lot. He's a 10th grader. He had a good 9th grade season. He was part of our 4x1. He went to districts in the 200 specifically. He was the league silver medalist in the 200. This year, he's running the 1, the 2, and the 4. Right now, he has the 100 and 400 times in the league. And I think, and we really haven't run him too hard in the 200 yet, but I think he's going to be up there in that as well. We also have a couple other guys as well. Chris Cromartie, who's an outstanding football player. He's very good on the track as well. And we've got some other people to help round out the team. On the girls' side, a name you're going to hear a lot is Molly McLaughlin. She's a freshman, and she right now has number 100 time in the league. Again, we're still working them into the 200. I think she might have the top 200 time in the league as well. And right behind her, we have Olivia Cleaver, who's also an excellent 100 and 200 runner, and Alana Dowell, who you probably heard her name a lot on the basketball court. She's also one of our excellent sprinters, and she also is a pretty good high jumper for us.
Now, Dallastown had a great cross-country season. Has that transferred to some great long-distance runners for you?
Yes, absolutely. Both the boys and the girls team. On a girls team, a lot of our distance runners were part of the cross-country team. Obviously, Leah Navarro, who as a freshman was third in the state in cross-country as a freshman. She's looking outstanding. She's got, I think, the top mile and 2 mile time in the league right now. And Neela Granger, who was right behind her as a state medalist in cross country, is also, doing very well in the mile, the 800 specifically, the 800 a mile for her, but also can run a very good 2 mile. Some of the other girls on our squad were not cross country runners because they played other sports in the fall, but Natalie Good is returning as one of the top 800 runners in the state, and she's been running a lot of 400 and 800 this year. She's looking fantastic, along with a couple other people. We have Abby Evans in there, Addison Emenheiser, and it just develops into a very good distance squad. The boys were mostly freshmen and sophomores last year, but they have improved a year with Jake Raskowensky's running very good in the mile and the 800. Ben Farbman, as a sophomore, is running very well in the mile and the 2 mile. And Aiden Granger is our senior leader on that team, and he's been running very good mile and 2 mile times as well. So we're feeling really good about what the boys have to offer, and I think the distance squad is going to be a big part of both teams this year.
Now tell us a little bit about your throwers.
Throwers are a squad that it's a little bit of everything. We have some senior leadership. We have some younger athletes that are learning. On the boys' side, Matthew Munoz is kind of leading the way. He's an excellent shot putter and discus thrower for us. And Anthony Munoz, 2 different last names, they sound alike, is doing very well in the javelin for us. Matthew is a junior, Anthony's a senior, but we also have some good younger talent working their way up, learning some things. We have a couple first-timers as well that are giving the throws a try that are doing very well for us. On the girls' side, Libby Jones has been is our senior leader. She's our number one shot putter, discus thrower, and her and another girl, Abby Lintz, go back and forth as the number one javelin thrower. So Libby's kind of leading the way there. And we have a couple other girls that are working their way in that are, just going to help out the squad. Those are definitely some areas that we're strong. I mean, we're very strong on the track for both boys and girls, and we're learning pretty well, and we're doing what we need to do in the field. Those kids are getting better.
Well, and it's good to have some of that balance a little bit,
Yes.
because as those kids mature and get some more experience, I think they'll get better as well. Now, also on the field, then we have the jumpers. Let's not forget about them. Tell us about them.
Well, yes, on the girls' side, our main jumpers are also pretty strong on the track for us. So Olivia Cleaver is a very good long jumper for us. Olivia Craig, who I haven't mentioned, is one of our is one of the best 400 runners in the league. She's also a good triple jumper. This year we've also had the development of a 11th grader named McKaylee Smith, who is developing into an outstanding triple jumper, and we're still trying some other events for her. She's very strong on the track, but she's really helping us in the jumps. And as I mentioned, Alana as a high jumper. On the boys' side, we have a senior who's kind of flown under the radar the last few years because we've had some outstanding jumpers that people know about, from the football field as well. But Aldo Alfaro Cruz is an outstanding long and triple jumper. He's one of the tops in the league in both events, and he's a senior, and he's leading us there. We also have a 10th grader named Cameron Thomas in the long jump, who I think is going to do pretty well. And Jalen Cook, who you probably know from the football field and the basketball court, has just decided to give track a try this year, and he set our school record just a couple weeks ago in the high jump, a school record that's been there since the 80s and was tied again in the late 90s, and he just broke it with a 6'9" high jump. So
wow, that does not surprise me. The kind of athlete he is.
He's a phenomenal athlete, and honestly, he's an even better kid to have on the team. He's just had a very positive attitude, and we love having him on the team. So he's not just high jumping, he's running on one of our relays, and he does some sprints also. He's definitely he's going to play football next year at East Stroudsburg, and I think just do a phenomenal job. But he wanted to give track a try, and we're very grateful he did.
Good for him. We're talking to Neil Gutekunst, Dallastown track and field coach. To be a great track and field head coach, I think you got to be good at all the technical aspects of the sport, but you got to be part traffic cop as well, right?
Yes, the technical aspects of the sport have to do with having an outstanding staff, and we do. We have phenomenal staff. We have assistant coaches who used to be head coaches for at other times, so they know a little bit everything. They're very good technically with their events, and where that allows me to kind of be just the traffic cop that, I just need to know what's going on at all times, who's where, make sure all the lineups are submitted, make sure, that we have the bus ordered for the right times and the right number of buses and the right people on each one. And, these entries for this meet, like we have a meet coming up on Saturday at Shippensburg. Those entries are due tomorrow. So we have to make sure those are in by tomorrow. We had another meet on Friday at Hershey that was canceled due to the weather that may be rescheduled. So we have to make sure, it's constant communication and making sure that lineups are in and people know what to do, where to be. So, yes, that's that part of the job. And, again, that could not be done if I didn't have the staff that I have with Todd Barshinger and Pat Good in the sprints, and Julie Granger running the distance squad, and Jen Reber doing the jumps, and Tracy Myers on the hurdles. And I failed to mention we have two senior hurdlers in Brooklyn Gore and Ethan Jacobs, who are both leading the way on the boys' side in the hurdles. They've been doing that since sophomore year. They've been our leaders. So Tracy Myers runs that, and Mike Gillis runs our pole vault, and he took over our high jump this year. And I don't think there's any, it's not a coincidence that we had a high jump school record broken the year that Mike Gillis took over the high jump.
All right, Coach, we're going to cut you short. We're running out of time, but today we celebrate Neil Gutekunst, track and field from Dallastown. Well done, Coach. Guys, we're going to tell everyone to stay tuned. You can catch the rest of our show on log by tuning into WOYK, but we're going to have to tune out right now, going live. Coach, just stay with us for a second. We'll be right back.